I'm Carl Perkins. Please join me as we explore the ins and outs, the highs and the lows in the life and times of minor celebrity Richard Stewart, tonight on Biography. In this quiet, unassuming 42nd Avenue home in the sleepy hamlet of Kerrisdale, Richard Stewart, the youngest of 5 or maybe 6 children and only son, grew up shouldering the burden of the Stewart family name.
Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future.
What? I have a son? Really? Let me see now. There's Maureen, Valerie, Corey, Shelley, Mark, Ann. By God, you're right. I thought it was just some kid that hung out around here. I thought he was a neighbor's boy. I thought he was a glick. Look, fellas, I just can't handle this anymore. I mean, I'm just shook up, this whole thing. I'm going to have to ask you to leave, please, if you don't mind. Thanks. Psst. Will I get any residuals from this?
Richard's childhood passed quickly and was, for the most part, unexceptional. It wasn't until high school that things began to change.
I'm John O'Connor, and I'm a long-time teacher and head teacher of Point Grey Mini. And I've got some annuals from 1983 to 87 in front of me. We're just going through them, looking at Richard Stewart. And here we find Richard in grade 8. What a fresh young face. Just an absolute cherub. So we moved to grade 9, and here's Richard Stewart, a year older, grown his hair, trying to cover up features maybe, a little more grim looking. So we moved to grade 10, and this is really very scary. I look at the photograph, I'm looking at what appear to be a pair of horns. It's almost demonic. And if we move forward a couple of pages, we see Richard again, and my goodness, that's really creepy. And we moved to grade 11, and that really very scary face we saw before has changed. It's Casanova-like, it's charming, the smile. He's trying to win people over. I guess that can be scary too. So here we find Richard in grade 12, serious, looking at the camera, straight on, powerful, self-assured. And I think back, cherub, scary, a leader, but all the time just a little monkey.
It was in high school that Richard was able to siphon the boundless talent of his friends and launch himself into the world of independent cinema. His debut as Boris, a lovable kick assassin in the Cold War thriller The Chucky Files, charmed audiences worldwide.
Please hold on for a minute. I've got him, Boris. Go do what you're good at. Yes, boss. I shall dispatch him for you. Oh, hello, Mr. Fingermeyer. You have won a trip to Hawaii.
Really?
Yes.
A trip to Hawaii? No way, you must be kidding.
All expense paid.
Yeah. Oh, no. A man's got a gun to the back of my head.
What a surprise! Let me speak to him, you fool!
It's for you.
Yes, Herr Commandant. Yes. Come in, the place is secure.
Now hot property, the casting director's darling found himself playing Igor, the hunchbacked manservant who stole the show in The Sinister Urge.
What is going on? Something in Master's laboratory. I must go find out right now. Master, my beloved master, what has happened to you?
After several other small but critically acclaimed parts, Hollywood finally opened its arms to Richard, offering up the coveted role of Indiana Jones, leading man in the blockbuster action-adventure hit Raiders of a Lost Cause. Critics again applauded his efforts, and audiences fell for his irresistible on-screen demeanor as the reserved, yet heroic, everyman.
I think smokers are real losers. You mean just like you, Buddy Anna?
Richard went on to star in the semi-autobiographical The Mozza Man and branched out in Le Cage aux Folles 4. I, Dog Boy, Richard's directorial debut, proved to be a dark turning point in an otherwise flawless career. The film opened to cool reviews and soon closed a box office disaster. Feeling betrayed, Richard called North American audiences intellectually dim buttweasels. The film, however, was incredibly popular in Hungary. Depressed and exhausted, Richard took a break from Hollywood, and like Onassis Bowie and Jagger, he found solace in the South Seas away from his hectic schedule and overzealous fans. The hurricane-ravaged rocks of the Turks and Caicos provided Richard with the haven he needed to regroup and plot future conquests in the entertainment industry.
I'll say something.
What's there to say?
On his return home, his new angle of attack would be music.
Yeah, Richard had approached me in the early 80s. He was really hot on some sort of a rap project. You know, he thought he had some good ideas. He just didn't have the talent. And we got together and, well, I did all the work and who took all the credit? Yeah, I think you know.
Everybody put your hands in the air. Richard's in the house.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Break it down now. Go.
1, 2. 1, 2.
Let me tell you about a guy named Wissamach. Part calculator, part Mr. Spock. Mr. Spock. He was the man with the thickest glasses, and he never missed Mr. Kellner's classes. I'd see him in physics almost every day, and he was kicking the hook out of my GPA. And I knew from the start at UBC he'd be the first to get his engineering degree.
Wilson Mark. This is where we bring in the slow jam. Chemistry, biology, trigonometry, no MSG. I know you're listening to me, ladies.
Richard, the one they're talking about. You touch my glasses, I'm gonna knock you out.
Samantha, gotta have you, Samantha. Angry creditors and mounting debt force Richard to return to acting, only this time in the world of straight-to-video sci-fi.
Luther, check the data cone.
Well, this is the right dimension, but I cannot pick him up at all. We must find the cyborg that is killing Hollywood stars, and we must stop him.
First, we're gonna have to ditch these futuristic uniforms for more contemporary clothes.
I agree. That is a good plan. Tactical and DCS rating.
The nail in the coffin was Richard's tiny role in the ABC miniseries Wuthering Heights. Jealousy of his charismatic co-stars drove him to excess, and Hollywood closed its doors on him forever. So Richard returned to school. Under the tutelage of renowned physics genius Blake Wilson, Richard began absorbing knowledge at an exponential rate. His neural pathways were soon twice as dense as those of the normal human brain. Although most projects he undertook remained incomplete or simply never worked, on leaving school, one passion flourished: weapons design. With the infamous arms dealer Scott Bennett, Richard was to stage one of the most significant military tests of the 20th century.
Is my prototype development, actually mine and Scott's prototype development for our missile car. We have taken a standard radio control car and manipulated it using model rocketry so that it is capable of firing a missile. What you are about to see is the initial test launch of a rocket using a B46 engine. B64 engine in the rocket. It does not carry an explosive payload yet.
I want the second stage on that rocket, and I want it on there now.
What we'd like to do is drive around, show you the mobility of the unit, and then do a test launch. We're going to be on the west side of the field and fire northward because the wind is blowing that way. Or maybe
No, we should fire from this side.
Okay, we'll fire it from over there. Onto the upper field. We've checked and there's no one up there. There wasn't anyway before. But let's just start, shall we?
Richard has given the go-ahead. All lights are green. All lights are green. Let's go! Let's go! We're not ready yet. We still got radiation teams there checking out the burn. All right, pull them out! Come on, pull them out!
Okay, we have recovery here. What we have here is an example of the awesome power of this weapon. You can see how it has embedded itself in the ground approximately 2 inches. One of which is a more powerful engine, an explosive warhead, and depending on whether we want to hit something on the ground, we can adjust the angle of attack, the trajectory.
Now, we are currently on the corner of 39th and Balaclava. The rocket was fired from 41st, which signifies that we do have a fairly low trajectory.
Fearing retaliation from the government, Richard took to the road as a somewhat disturbed and aggressive host for Lonely Planet. A very lonely planet.
My name's Josiah, and I'm heading down to the Old South. Old South, get some orange juice, you know?
So here we are at Lake Titicaca.
You have to go back and get it because you didn't help.
I don't have keys.
Well, Laird has the keys.
You didn't help either. Let's just
You carried the f***ing cooler.
You didn't help myself.
I carried the f***ing camera and I'm filming you assholes.
Dumb
Is the thing on? So start now? Okay, well, hang on. I hate this. Okay, I'm ready. Richard Stewart was employed by Nuco Research Limited from 1996 to 1999. Richard was a valuable employee and I would not hesitate to employ him again. Is that okay? Okay. Oh, I hate doing this kind of stuff. Man, oh man. You know, particularly when it's such horseshit. I mean, Richard was employed here for what, 3 years? We finally replaced him with 2, grade 9 shop students. And I guess this stuff was okay, but there was some disasters. I mean, I remember one time.
Okay, Richard, just passing 600 feet. 600 feet. That is 2.12 meters, 2.15. Wait a minute, the depth gauge thing is flashing here. Oh, Jesus, everything's. Hang on, all the electronics are hopping all over the place here. The touch screen is flashing on and off. What the hell's the matter with this thing? Jesus Christ, I knew we should have gone to something mechanical. For Christ's sakes, everything's gone to hell here. All these electronics are out. I'm trying to drop the surface of it. I can't make head nor tail of the screen. Richard, for Christ's sakes, are you there? Richard, we're just passing 1,500 feet. Richard!
Citing differences, Richard left Newtco and was bailed out by some friends who were able to finagle him a stable job with a highly successful company in the high-tech sector.
Hello?
Hey Blake, it's Greg down in Apps.
Yeah, Greg, what's on your mind?
Well, you know that new guy, Richard Stewart?
Yeah, I see him in the cafeteria sometimes. Well, actually, I see him in the cafeteria a lot.
Yeah, well, you know, he's just not working out.
Is his probation up yet?
No, he has about a month to go.
Super.
You know, I feel kind of bad about this.
Greg, don't worry. I've got security on it as we speak.
Gee, thanks, Blake. I can rest easy now.
No problemo.
It's that Stewart guy again. I better go take a look.
Well, Samantha did go out with Richard in the end, and they built their budding relationship on the principles of trust, stability, and monogamy. Whoops. And that is why we're here today. Roll that clip again. The one with the dancing. That's it. Look at that. What is that? He looks like a wounded bird.